Hello, everybody. My name is Anila, and my paper is on environmental racism in mining for rare earth metals. So now more than ever, we're being reminded of the climate crisis and kind of the steps we should take in order to prepare and make sure that our world is better off. And some of the factors that contribute to the climate crisis include air pollution, for example, from factories, and the emissions that come from transportation, and the use of fossil fuels. So what is used to create the fuel for these forms of transportation. And so what scientists have come up with are alternative forms. So for example, electric vehicles, and they do this in hopes to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. And although there are not any exact numbers, because it all depends on location, temperature, and kind of the season while these cars are in use, a study found that between 28 to 67% of greenhouse gas emissions would be reduced compared to traditional forms of transportation like cars that use fossil fuel gases. And to make these cars work, we need batteries. So the batteries that are used are lithium ion batteries, and one of the main ingredients in these batteries are cobalt. This is what cobalt looks like. And Congo, the Republic of Congo, is one of the countries that leads in the production of cobalt. It's a really poor country, one of the poorest in the world, actually. So it relies on the production of this and mining companies to create some sort of revenue and money for the country to support its people. And although we may think that electric vehicles are on the right path to help our communities, at this point, I don't think it is a good thing to do, or at least needs more research because of the environment racism that happens due to the cobalt mining industry. The cobalt mining industry is kind of based off of environmental racism. It's built off of it by the way they treat their workers. So these mining companies come into poor countries like Congo and provide false promises for jobs, homes, and resources. But just the nature of how these mines occur, they have to be close to communities, or oftentimes the resources are found where communities live. So they force relocation and introduce pollution to the area. So it's kind of hypocritical that they are claiming that these electric vehicles will reduce the impact of air pollution when they are doing it in the same communities that provide these minerals. And a lot of the times, these miners are children who are not provided protective equipment. So in this image, we can see that these children are not wearing gloves, masks, or even the proper attire. Their skin is exposed to all these harsh cobalt dust, and the tools they are using look like common wood, so not the proper tools, no shovels or anything. And this exposure to dust can cause health problems like asthma and lung disease. And here's just a wider example of kind of what a mine looks like. And as we can see, all the people walking around are wearing like common clothes, so no protective equipment at all. And these ropes aren't secured properly. So in case something would happen like a collapse, there could be a lot of deaths and people cannot be prepared. And as I said, the dust in the air oftentimes causes health issues. So here's a case study from Katanga in the Republic of Congo, where even though these children were not working in the mines, just living nearby affected them. So almost 90% of the children in the community exceeded the limit of cobalt in their bloodstream. And so far, I've divided the solutions into two sections. So looking at the actual mining process, one solution would be diversifying mining enterprises. So just looking at different companies or finding a different company of mining that actually cares about their workers and just provides more ethical solutions. So a company that would actually maintain sustainability and worker safety, or we could look at it through the actual mineral. So we could look for new resource streams and find minerals that are more sustainable, minerals that don't cause, like the process don't cause as much harm to the communities, or to do material recovery and recycling. So the idea of circularity and just instead of throwing out batteries, recover them, recycle them, find other ways to use them. And some resources that these mining companies and like the general public has been given include the Responsible Mining Index and the Responsible Minerals Initiative. So I think looking at the solutions and resources is one of the many steps we have to take in order to figure out this problem of environmental racism and really help out these communities who otherwise, without our help, otherwise can do anything. As I said, Congo is one of the poorest countries in the world, so oftentimes they themselves don't have the resources to sue or the money to sue or know people in power. So just getting this word out and finding ways to fix this issue from the outside world would be really helpful.